that down. Let's move on to this, shall we? You know, the other day we did a story on the show. You know, we don't like to talk about world events and politics, but every once in a while, those things will cross over and have massive implications on the world of movies. And so we talked about the fact that there was a report going around that China was considering either reducing or eliminating American films from being played in China. Mm-hmm. Now, that's a fairly big deal because China is the second biggest movie market in the world. Not as big as the United States, North American market, I should say, but a pretty significant player, right? Well, now it's official. According to the Hollywood Reporter, China is going to reduce, they didn't say eliminate yet, but they are going to reduce imports of Hollywood films as the trade war escalates. The China Film Administration said it would moderately reduce the number of American films the country imports in response to Donald Trump's tariffs. By the way, that 1 year where they had the massive reduction,
right,
they used the same terminology, moderately reduce. Anyway, the article writes the following. Said it's official. China is set to reduce the number of Hollywood films it imports in response to an escalating tariff war with the U.S. and will look to increase film imports from other countries. Now, it should be noted, I did a complete editorial once, you can look it up on our YouTube channel, on understanding the Chinese market and foreign films playing there. It should be noted that China has, for a long time, had the opposite of a quota? A restriction.
Oh, yeah.
On the number of foreign films allowed into the country each year. They've always had a restriction. Not super stringent, but a restriction nonetheless. On American films, Indian films, Korean films, whatever. They've had a limit in place about how many foreign films every year can come in, a cap, if you will, and play in China every year. It should be noted in this paragraph, though, they're not talking about reducing the number of foreign films, just American films, because as it says here, they're looking to reduce the number of Hollywood imports, but will look to increase film imports from other countries. Wow. So they're still going to bring in Bollywood films. They don't play a lot of Bollywood in China, but still. Maybe some Korean films, other countries, who knows? Maybe even some French cinema. Now look, I said this when we were talking about the possibility of this a week or two ago, that I don't think this would be a death blow at all for the industry, but it will force Hollywood and the US film market to have to tighten the purse strings a bit. Because here's the thing. A lot of movies, particularly like some MCU movies, have still made massive. There have been a couple of MCU films that have joined the $1 billion club without ever playing in China.
Right.
Right? So clearly it's not a death blow.
No.
But that Chinese market can add $30 million to a film's total.
Sure.
And
And it's
can
not
add
going to,
$100 million to a film's total. Could add $12 million to it. That's all money that studios can then use and go ahead and turn around and parlay into financing other films. Smaller films even. Now, you've often heard it said, like, Marvel is the engine that drives the financial reliability of smaller films under the Disney banners to actually get made. So while I don't think it's a death blow, I think it will be something that is a disruptor. And by the way, as we've seen tariffs continue to escalate and escalate, what they're starting off here calling a moderate reduction in American films to be allowed in could very quickly become banned. American films banned in China. Again, I don't think that's a death blow, but it would be a disruption to the American film industry and understanding what films can get made and what films can't get made because they're going to have less money to do it. So it's an interesting thing that we should keep our eyes on here and see how this develops. Again, starting with, we got to see how much, what does moderately mean? Does that mean that Thunderbolts won't get to play? We're just talking about Thunderbolts can still do pretty well, but if all of a sudden it's missing out on the second biggest film market in the world,
right,
that's going to lower how much money it makes. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be interesting to see the actual practical ramifications of this and see how it works itself out. Anyway, guys, question is for you. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Hungryroot. Okay, so I'm sure you guys can all relate to this. Spring hits and suddenly life goes from like 0 to 100. Busy season is officially in full swing over here. And honestly, who's got time to go grocery shopping? That's where Hungryroot comes in. See, because Hungryroot is like having your own personal shopper. I told them my goals and they started curating groceries for me that actually fit my life. Be it smoothies, snacks, salad kits, even ready to eat meals. All clean ingredients, no artificial junk. This week, I got the grilled turkey tenderloin with pesto grilled veggies, and it was amazing. And I got my usual protein-packed snacks. It's like they're learning my taste better than I even know myself. And the best part is, I don't have to waste time driving to the grocery store and wandering the aisles. That's time I can spend doing literally absolutely anything else. Guys, I love Hungryroot. Take advantage of this exclusive offer. For a limited time, get 40% off your first box, plus get a free item in every box for life. Go to hungryroot.com/Campea and use the code Campea. That's hungryroot.com/Campea, code Campea to get 40% off your first box and a free item of your choice for life. hungryroot.com/Campea, code Campea. What do you think about this? It's now official. China is putting a restriction, an additional cap, if you will, on the number of American films that will be allowed to play there, while they're going to open up to even more foreign films from other countries to come in. It could become a complete ban at some point. Whatever you guys think about this, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.